Hey Yas, how are you?
I'm good.
That is good. How's your week been? It's been so nice out, dead of summer. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, July has been a hot month. It's been a little rainy, but now lately it's been perfect weather. So I got to the beach yesterday. It was amazing. It was packed. But yeah, so far so good. July's awesome.
That is amazing. It's like my favorite month. Everything's in bloom. Everything's so lush. Like, as you know, obviously, I love the entire summer, but I feel towards the end of like August, I'm still in love with it, but like the grass and the trees and some of the plants are like, I'm hot.
Yeah.
And they kind of start to yellow, but like now everything's fresh. And you know what? That also applies to our food. And
Yes.
although it's not Tuesday right now, maybe you guys are going to be watching this on a Tuesday. I don't buy Taco Tuesday. Every freaking day is Taco Tuesday. So today for dinner, we are having tacos.
Tacos. Yeah, one of my favorite comfort foods. And just to talk about the freshness of the veggies right now, like I'm just loving lettuce. It's so fresh in the summer, and it's just the toppings for the tacos. It's all about the toppings.
It's all about the toppings, literally. So I usually do tacos three ways. I usually do one in a wrap, which I'll talk about in a second if you want to know about it.
Totally.
One in a beautiful lettuce cup. I love when you get the perfect like
that's
shape.
gorgeous. Oh, I love that.
It's romaine, and when you get the inner hearts, you get that perfect shape where it's not too flimsy and not like
it falls apart, and it can be tricky. So that's a good tip.
And then the third one, I am like literally standard taco OG girl, is a corn shell taco. However, I'm very picky about my shells, so I'll get it to pop up right here. So these shells here, these are the ones that I use. They are certified organic. Corn is dirty. Corn is genetically modified. It is just full of pesticides. But I didn't have any. So today we're doing tacos two ways. But do you want to hear about my wraps?
Yeah, tell me about the wraps. Because you know what? I'll have to be honest. That is a tricky part I've had with tacos. Like I love tacos so much, and for me, they're like a comfort food because back in the day when I started cooking for myself, it wasn't like I ate them a lot as a kid, but I started, making them for myself as a young adult. And it was all about the, how easy it is and it tastes good. And, but the wraps, forever I've had trouble with getting healthy wraps. Because honestly, I don't know if anybody's looked at the ingredient list on your standard tortilla shell, at your regular grocery store. Like, oh, it's horrible. There's carrageenan, there's all kinds of additives, chemical stuff. You're like, modified oils. You're like, what the hell is this? So I want to hear about your wraps, please. Enlighten me.
And it's because I love these wraps for all of the points that you're talking about. So these are the ones that I have been loving so much. All right. They are literally made of coconut flour. I'm going to read you the ingredients because it's so short. It's everything certified organic. It's coconut flour, cassava starch, which is also plant-based, water, coconut oil, sea salt, and there is some xanthan. I think that's how I say it, xanthan. Gum, which is a thickener, but again, the better of the natural thickeners, way better than carrageenan, as you mentioned, etc. So grain-free. I'm not grain-free. A lot of people are grain-free, and there are a lot of good reasons to be grain-free. I am refined grain-free. So as you were saying, tortillas are so refined. So I'm pro grain-free here because I don't need all of those refined grains. We don't even have time to go into what they do, landslide, blood sugar, hormones, you name it. So these are my wraps. I love them. They are very malleable. That's usually what my clients will ask me. Do they break? Do they rip? Guys, look.
Ooh.
See? So like easy to roll up, no crack down the middle. Ta-da. So nice. Love the wrap.
Where do you get those? I haven't seen that brand.
I get them at Healthy Planet, and they're in the refrigerated section. And I honestly also have seen them at Goodness Me.
Nice.
So talking about the filling, the bulk of my taco, very quickly, I make my own meat. As you know, obviously, I'm plant-based, and I am so into layering your nutrition. Anything that you can add to every meal, why wouldn't you? Everything you put in your mouth is an opportunity to support your body, to lower inflammation, to help the body detoxify. So my meat, you can find it on the TLC community. I know you've made it before. And I think I think you modified it maybe because Kevin doesn't do nuts. Am I making this up?
Yeah. My husband has to be nut free. So we're usually using sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Yeah.
Which works. So my meat is on the TLC community. It's a really fast recipe. I love it. It's literally done in 15 minutes. I usually typically use a mixture of walnut and pumpkin seeds, but as you just said, you can throw in different seeds and play with it. So there's hemp in there. Oils are all anti-inflammatory. So it's like this big present of meat. So, and it really does look like ground meat. If you guys can see the picture, like look at the picture here. I took a picture of my tacos before. Like, look at that meat texture. I feel like it really looks like meat, no? So
I love that when it looks like meat, because there's just something about it. Just, I like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then really simple, I have some avocados on there. I have some red peppers, shiitake mushrooms, some green goddess cheese and nacho libre, made for tacos, which has like a little jalapeno bite to it. Microgreens always, because literally these microgreens, obsessed with them. Mixture of like 7 different microgreens. As you talked about sprouts before, like the nutrition is at least 5 to 10 times more than the full grown plant. So instead of lettuce, I love to add these to my tacos for even more nutrition. And then I made a little vegan aioli and put some onion in there and some garlic in there. And that's my taco on a plate. So lots of fresh foods. Thank you. Lots of fresh foods, lots of live foods. Really important to me. So that just made me really hungry. Can you tell me about your taco while I eat my taco?
Totally, yeah. So I'll tell you about my tacos. So I also do tacos a number of different ways. And to be honest, I used to do meat tacos, back in the day when I first was cooking.
Me too.
Right. And then I even switched to grass-fed meat. Oh, that looked, so good. I even switched to grass-fed, but there was just something about the meat that just left me not feeling so awesome. So I've gotten into plant-based tacos, and I now do those like 3 different ways, 4 different ways. And today I'm sharing my favorite way of doing them. So I'm going to show you this meat because I didn't take a picture, but check out my meat. So this is lentils that I soaked and cooked, and it's got pumpkin seeds and garlic. And I just threw it through the food processor. And you don't want to process it too much, so it still has a bit of that chunky flavor.
Texture, yeah.
Right, or texture, thank you. And then I also added afterwards, so I put it in a bowl and mixed in some spices, so made it taco flavored, and then olive oil to add the healthy fat. And what's so beautiful is you're adding the olive oil at the end of this recipe, so you're not heating it and it's not turning into a toxic oil. So there's good healthy fats, so much fiber. And I find when I eat this, my blood sugar feels so even. And that is just so important to me. And I tested out this recipe recently on my mom. She came to visit, and, I literally threw it together like bing, bang, boom. And I gave it to her, and she was like, whoa, this looks like meat. And then she started eating it, and she's like, wow, this tastes so good. Like the flavor in this, I wish you could taste it,
right?
When you're watching, because the flavor is amazing. And so she's already gone home and made these tacos because she loved them so much. So that's the meat. And I know I'm gushing. I'll keep going. So you can see on my tacos, I do have an aioli sauce that I made as well. It's super easy. It's sunflower seed, some vegan mayo, some lemon juice, garlic. It adds so much flavor. And then like I said, it's all about the topping. So I'm going to throw these on. I've got some basil, some fresh basil here, which love on tacos. Some green onions.
I can smell it now. I'm just letting that fresh smell waft in.
Love, love, love. Some baby tomatoes that I got. All of this is from a local farm. So like the flavor of these are just top notch. So it just really adds to the tacos. And then just some lettuce that, I cut up. And I will share my taco shell because I did find something at Goodness Me that I thought was pretty decent. I don't know if you've seen this brand.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, we had it here in the Berry Goodness Me, and it's it's gluten-free and it's made with like teff. So an ancient grain. And the ingredients looked pretty okay. And they also make a whole wheat one that, again, is like non-GMO, pretty good ingredients. You're usually keeping it in the fridge. So you don't find these just on the shelf, like, in regular grocery stores. You'd find it in the refrigerated section. And honestly, I was really impressed. And, again, it's nice and bendy and doesn't, it's not too thin. And so the performance is awesome. So now I'm getting hungry. I'm going to start topping this sucker and have a few bites. And it's going messy, so I got my napkins. I can't help it.
I'm pretty impressed. I actually ate pretty dainty for how I usually eat tacos. So
well done.
Thank you. Yeah, that's super cool. And I love that you're using the local ingredients. My stuff is very local as well. This is from a farm in Paris, Ontario. Actually, shout out to Micro Bliss. I love their products, and peppers were local, whatever. My pepper plants haven't quite grown yet, but I can't wait to make tacos with them. They should be soon. Yeah. But just a little note about variety. We look at our tacos, 2 totally different takes on tacos. Yours look absolutely phenomenal. 2 totally different topping spectrums. I know, hi, I'm Tanya. I'm a holistic nutritionist and I don't like raw tomatoes, and I don't. So just such a difference in our profiles of what we're putting on. And that is so important because layering the nutrition, as I said, and variety is key. We're not going to stay healthy and be healthy eating the same 4 things, even if those 4 things are phenomenal, right? Yeah. So I definitely am going to get your recipe for the lentil meat. I love lentils.
I want to also share with everybody that's watching. Sorry, my mouth is full.
It's dinner. It happens.
Right, it happens. I did do a YouTube video of this exact meat recipe. So maybe we can put it in the description box below. Absolutely. And then, everybody can see it. And absolutely, you got to try this recipe. It is so good.
I will absolutely do that. So it's interesting too. We both mentioned how much our plant-based meat looked like meat and how we used to enjoy meat-based tacos, because I haven't been plant-based my whole life. And then we made the transition. So I kind of wanted to unpack that a little bit. I get that all the time where we have people that are trying to transition into more plant-based. Myself was on that journey. Why do we still want things that look and resemble meat? And I think it's just because it's that comfort factor again, right? Like that's what these are what my tacos, okay, not in the lettuce, but like, come on, the one I just ate. These are what my tacos used to look like when I was little. But instead of the nut and seed meat, obviously it was ground beef, with chemical seasonings, instead of the beautiful spices profile that I've put in here. Instead of the green goddess cheese, it was probably black diamond, something along the lines of that.
Black diamond marble cheese, remember that?
Black diamond, 1,000%. So just that comfort factor of actually having a product that looks like it used to for us. And then the fact that we both phased out of meat. So it makes sense, having that dish that looked like how we used to eat it. But then what are the other reasons why I transitioned? What are the other reasons why you transitioned from meat into plant-based tacos? Well, you said it yourself. You just didn't feel great after.
No.
Like sorry, I know you're eating, but like, what does that mean? How did you feel after you had those meat-based tacos?
Yeah. So, when I was eating meat tacos, loving them, loving the taste, man, they would just leave me feeling like heavy, kind of tired, and like my digestion felt slow. And I felt like the meat just added a heaviness to my body. And I know, and comparing to the plant-based tacos, that was also a big learning for me, because I was seeing how I felt with the meat tacos, but then having none of that with the plant-based, and having energy and feeling actually full for a good few hours. So actually, it's one of my favorite lunch recipes because it's so easy to put together that, I'll do this for myself and I'm good until dinner. No energy dips, just feeling awesome in those ways. Think clearly, like all that stuff.
Everything. Yeah, that's a huge difference. So I kind of was thinking about like a little comparison, like what I usually, talk to some of my clients about when they want to transition into more plants and they want to know more about it. So really small nutshell version, you can find more about this like on, my social media and whatever. Animal products are a dead food. Sounds morbid, but there's dead. They're not living. Where we look at plant-based foods, especially the ones that have just been picked at a local farm, think of how long those have been out of the ground. They're alive. We see them die. Sometimes they die in our fridge when we forget them in the back and they wilt and you're like, sorry, but right now they're alive. And when we are giving our body live foods, we are definitely getting the benefits. We're getting extra enzymes, we're getting extra nutrients, right? And you talked about before feeling fuller longer. Well, exactly. That's thanks to fiber. And we know fiber is exclusively found only in plant-based foods. We're not getting the fiber in animal-based foods, right? And fiber slows down digestion. It's like, whoop, calm down there. And I always say it acts like a glass ceiling, for sugars and for insulin, because it's like, okay, let's just keep you even. And you get that slow burn. And that's the extra energy you're feeling. And that's the extra fullness that you're feeling instead of a spike and a dip, right?
Totally. I can really, really feel that. And actually, just to add on to what you're saying about the blood sugar, because I'm loving what you're saying and how you're sharing it. Protein. When you eat too much protein at once, especially, animal meat is going to have a lot of protein all at once, it can spike your blood sugar. And that's something I've been sharing a lot with my patients. And it's been like a light bulb moment for them. They're like, oh, because they're like, I'm not eating sugar. But meanwhile, they'll pack in, 30 grams of protein all at once and maybe by itself.
It's so true. Absolutely. And then we talk about protein. So carrying on with that, obviously we know plants have protein and animal products have protein, but the protein vastly differs. Animal protein is definitely pro-inflammatory. We know this. There's 3 different types of acids that it spikes in the blood, and the body breaks that down into 3 different kind of acids. And these are inflammatory acids, and they put strain on the systems like your kidneys, etc., to break those acids down and get them out of the system. Certain plants, proteins, are pro-inflammatory. Everybody's plants are anti-inflammatory. Generally as a whole, absolutely. But like things like lentils, nuts, seeds, etc., those are actually inflammatory. They break down into an inflammatory ash, but it's different. It's 100% different because they are brought back to alkalize a lot easier than the meat-based proteins, right? And they also have all of the other nutrients, a whole spectrum that usually the animal protein doesn't have. So really acidic. Animal side as well. Some of the plants, again, can be acidic and inflammatory, but it's completely different. It's comparing apples to oranges. So you really can do an opposite spectrum and say pro-inflammatory is the animal protein and anti-inflammatory definitely is that plant-based protein as well.
Yep. I love your description. Big time. And in my personal life, I'm facing insulin resistance. I talk a lot about it with my patients too. And insulin resistance, to heal it's not just about, fasting. It's not just about cutting out sugar. It really is about increasing fiber. And I think that is, the less sexy thing that people, we're talking about, like fiber doesn't seem so sexy. Ooh, it makes you poop, but that really is the missing piece. And so what also in my patient population, I've been talking a lot about fat with them, so up their fat. But when they actually, count out their food and they're looking, like sometimes we're only getting 10 grams of fiber a day, and this is not okay. So, a meal like this really ups the fiber, and it's massively important to the blood sugar balance, the insulin resistance, the weight loss, and all those things affected by inflammation. So, yeah.
Right. And thinking about too, things like upping the fat, what you just said, not realizing, hello, my meat is all fat, but it is amazing fat. It is walnuts. It is sunflower seeds. It is hemp heart. This is omega-3 fats, people. So this is still a very high fat meal, but it's high anti-inflammatory fats, right? Yeah. As opposed to high saturated fats. And as we know, guess what? Plants, they have no cholesterol. I think that's pretty sexy. So that's also a very important point. So, it's a big nutshell version, but that basically for me is just the tip of the iceberg about why plant-based tacos work for this body, what I'm trying to do with my health. I have a lot, and I talk about this a lot as well. I have a lot of toxicity in my body. I have a lot of stagnation, especially with my lymphatic system. I do have issues, with yeast, because I spent 30 years of my life eating legit garbage, right? So this is what is changing my whole entire life. It's the plants for me. So I was a Taco Bell girl, grade D meat, 24/7, cheesy fries supreme, pick off the tomatoes, but I've come a long way, and look at us. Did you enjoy your taco? I freaking enjoyed my taco.
I look forward to the tacos. Like, let's just put it that way. Like, taco time, definitely happens a couple times a week at my place. I always know it's gonna taste good. It's gonna be easy to put together, and I'm gonna feel awesome afterwards.
That's it. I couldn't agree more. And you're right. I look forward to it too. And there's so many, it's a fridge cleaner outer. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I got half a pepper. I got something, my living food is dying. What do I do with it? Like, you just put it all together, And I forgot to mention, I actually also have quinoa mixed in here as well. I just saw a grain of it and I was like, oh, I didn't talk about the quinoa. So again, going back to layering your nutrition and variety. I soaked that quinoa and I just literally threw it on there without cooking it. That is just nutrients 101 that your body is just sucking like a straw. And it's a complete plant-based protein. So you are getting all the 9 essential amino acids. If I had a penny, Yas, for every time somebody asked me, how are you getting enough protein? I'm like, girl, don't you even worry about my protein. The plants, they provide.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, I love it. Yay, tacos.
Yay, tacos. So that was absolutely amazing. What are we eating next week? Like, what favorite comfort food? Can I tell you what favorite comfort food comes to mind for me?
Please do, because I'm so excited.
Can we have a pizza night? Like a pizza party?
Yes. Pizza, all the way. Yes.
Okay. I cannot live without pizza. And again, I feel like back in the day, like Domino's, knew me by name. They're like, yo, it's Tanya. Life has changed. Let's do change pizzas on our plates.
Yes, I love it. Totally. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it. So thank you for another amazing dinner. It's always so fun catching up with you, hanging out with you, and learning from you. So thank you so much.
Likewise. I love your descriptions. I love hearing about your food, and I love making your recipes.
Thank you. So I can't wait to try your tacos. I will try them this week, and I will text you and let them know how they turn out. And I'll share a picture on my social media. So until next dinner, I will see you next week, girl.
See you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.